Welcome. Today I'm going to talk about omega-3 versus omega-3. Is there a difference between omega-3? Yes, it is. Either omega-3 is working or it's not working. And what decides if it works or not? First of all, we have to understand the main problem. The main problem is not that we're necessarily eating too little omega-3. The main problem is that we're eating way too much omega-6. When we have way too much omega-6 compared to omega-3, something is happening in our body. And what's happening? We have to look at the molecular structure of the cell. The cell membrane is built up with omega-3 or omega-6. If we have too much omega-6, that creates an issue with us. Why? Because omega-6 is inflammatory, omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. If it's equal, it's pretty makes sense that then the cell becomes neutral. But if you have way too much of the inflammatory stuff, that makes our body to be inflamed. So we have to have an omega-3 that have enough with EPA, DHA in them, because if not, it's not helping us. It just takes us up to a little bit better level, but really the issue is still there. We need to come up on the same level for the cell membranes to create a cell membrane with a good ratio. A ratio 3:1 is preferred, but the closer to 1:1, the better it is. I see results in my clients every day, and the closer you get to 1:1, the better the health benefits are. So, what happens if we don't have the right ratio in the cells? First of all, we have inflammation. That inflammation is causing issues with the hormone receptors as well, because the hormone receptors become something that is called numbed out. So the hormones cannot get attached to the receptors and create the next thing that's supposed to happen, maybe releasing a signal molecule that is going and tells something else. But that is one of the issues. The inflammation is another one, of course. And then the third thing is that when we have too much omega-6, what's happening then is that our cell membrane gets harder and harder, and that's causing nutrition. The micronutrients that is supposed to go through the cell membrane are not able to get in, and the toxins and waste are not able to get out. So the harder the cell membrane, the harder it is for the nutrition to get in. And that is causing us to have issues with our metabolism as well. And if we're lacking nutrition, it doesn't matter if we're adding them to our diet then. Of course, but if they're not able to get into the cells and do what they're supposed to do, we can still feel like crap, even though we have the good things in our blood. That's, for example, what doctors likes to do when they find a person that have low levels of Levaxine, for example, the hormone, the T3 hormone. They give them a medication called Levaxine. In Sweden, I'm not sure if it's the same in USA, but they add hormones to the blood. But it doesn't matter how much hormones you have in the blood if they're not able to attach to the hormone receptors on the cell walls. So that is why it's so important for us to get in right ratio. If we can't lower the omega-6 that much because we like the food we're eating, we have to upper the omega-3s in order to get the right ratio and balance in our body. And that is doable, but we need to be choosing our omega-3s really well. It needs to be high enough in omega-3, EPA and DHA in particular, and it needs to have an antioxidant that protects the omega-3, because if it's not protected, it will be oxidized in our body very fast. If you put a fish out on the countertop, it will start to smell pretty fast. But if you're instead making it have an antioxidant that protects the omega-3 from oxidation, it will be able to be used in our body for a longer time. So when we're measuring omega-3s, some omega-3s are only active in your body for 2 hours. 2 to 6 hours is usually. But there are omega-3s out there that have an antioxidant that are able to be available and work in your body for over 30 hours. So how would you know if an omega-3 is working or not? Well, you can only know that if you're actually eating your omega-3 and take a blood sample where you can measure the cell membranes and see the ratio. And these have to be done with a dried blood sample, and it's only a couple of places that it can be done. If you go to the doctors, they will most likely measure your plasma. And in your plasma, they're measuring the wrong cells. They're measuring cells that are only 7 days in lifespan. That means if you have had fish in the last 7 days, they will probably show pretty good. But we want to measure the red blood cells because that will show you a better view of how your cells and overall looks in your body, depending on your diet. So that is the thing. You have to be able to measure it. And if you are good, then you're good. But if you're too low, you have to change it to the omega-3 that is good. The omega-3 I'm eating right now, it contains, if I'm eating 12 milliliters, only 12 milliliters, that will give me 1,283 milligrams of EPA and 683 milligrams of DHA. That's very high. So, and also you want to make sure that there is an antioxidant. This one have an omega-9 that is helping out with that. So that was today's lesson on omega-3. Is it a difference between omega-3 and omega-3? And my answer is yes, it is. And the difference is crucial if you want to experience health benefit with eating and taking omega-3. I'm Michaela Morell behind foodchangelives.com. You're more than welcome to check in my webpage and read more about me and look at my blog. And if you need any help, I'm here to help. Thank you. Bye.